Keep on rolling, 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 rolling,
Rollin' Shorties.
All right, we're rolling again. And today we're talking about A Shocking Thing, edited by Damon Knight. And if you look at this cover, there's some shocking things happening at this cover. Oh my gosh. This is a pocketbook. Chilled to the blood, scared to the soul. I hope it's scary. Let's see what we've got here. A shocking thing. Whoa. A Man from the South by Roald Dahl. The Snail Watcher by Patricia Hyson. Bianca's Hands by Theodore Sturgeon. Poor Little Warrior by. Oh, let me move my microphone out of the way. Poor Little Warrior by Brian W. Aldiss. The Hounds by Kate Wilhelm. The Clone by Theodore L. Thomas. A Touch of Nutmeg Makes It by John Collier. Casey Antagonist by Richard McKenna. The Abyss by Leonid Andreev. A Case of History by John Anthony West. Fondly Fahrenheit by Alfred Bester. Lukundoo by Edward Lucas White. The Cabbage Patch by Theodore Cogswell. Oil of Dog, ew, by Ambrose Bierce. The Time of the Big Sleep by Jean-Pierre Andrevon. The Right Man for the Job by J.C. Thompson. The Year of the Jackpot by Heinlein. I'm excited about this one, you guys. There's a lot of names here that I do not recognize, and personally, I want to read the one by Roald Dahl. I didn't know he did things other than just kid books. Okay, so what do we got here? 17 stories. All right. Come on, big money. Big money. Number 12. Okay. Number 12. What the heck is number 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Lukundoo by Edward Lucas White. Let's Lukundoo, everybody. Hello, everybody. Jake here. Welcome back to Rollin' Shorties. Now, I haven't done one of these in a while, and so if you don't know, for my normal review videos, I do a ton of research. I mean, even though I act a fool and and am silly and have a lot of jokes, I actually do a ton of research into what I've read, the author, all of that. For Rollin' Shorties, I do zero research, none whatsoever, zilch. I just randomly pick a story and read it, and then I talk about it, share my instant thoughts. And so I just finished Lukundoo by Edward Lucas White. Now, I know nothing about Edward Lucas White. I've never even heard of Edward Lucas White. And let me read you the first line, and then we'll talk about it. It stands to reason, said Twombly, that a man must accept the evidence of his own eyes. And when eyes and ears agree, there can be no doubt. He has to believe what he has both seen and heard. Not always, put in Singleton softly. And then the character Singleton goes and tells a story in first person, or recounts a time where he was in the heart of Africa, with a friend of his, DeRitter, searching for lost pygmy tribes. And so they're trekking through the jungle. They have their guides. They're going through it, and they end up discovering a British man whose name is, let me find it here, Etcham. A British man named Etcham, who is emaciated. He's in horrible shape. He looks like he's half starved. And so they kind of nurse him back to help and be like, "What's going on? And what are you doing in the middle of the jungle here, you poor British man?" And Etcham tells him, he says, I was on a expedition with a certain not archaeologist. What is it when they're when they're smart? Not me. Oh, it's eluding me. But when they I'm gonna get it as soon as I finish filming here. But basically, they're studying I'm gonna look it up. I'm making a fool of myself. Anthropology. He's an anthropologist. um, and so that's what these guys are all. They're all anthropologists. I don't know why I was struggling with that. Maybe because I'm stupid. But anyway, they find Etcham, the British man, was a part of this expedition led by a certain Dr. Stone, who is the premier anthropologist in the field. And the main character here, what's his name again? Singleton, Singleton had worked with him before or had studied under him in university. So he's like, Dr. Stone is here in the jungle, and he's like, yeah. And Etchem had been missing for 10 days, had basically run away from the camp, kind of seeking help because Dr. Stone had fallen ill. And so they end up, the crew now ends up going back to the camp, and they find out that this Dr. Stone he has these strange boils on his body that he ends up lancing them off or cutting them clean off, and they're like, that should kill him. These boils should. He's and he seems in and out of it. He doesn't seem all there. He has a voracious appetite, but is just unable to move and just kind of crawls around, which is they're like, this is so strange because he's such a prominent figure in the field of anthropology. And as they learn, as they keep talking with the British fellow, eventually he says, this is what I kind of found on his person, and he pulls out two shrunken heads. Now these shrunken heads are like they're this big, they're so small, they're like nothing they've ever seen before. And they're like, these could be like a true pygmy, not just not just little people, but a brand new subset of humanity. And so they're excited about that. But then creepy things start happening because they hear, when the tent the when Stone's his tent flap is closed, they hear him occasionally in the middle of the night talking in his low, guttural voice. But then they'll hear another higher voice, um, speaking in the Mingbatu language, and which is that tribe that they're in, and they're speaking in this other voice. And then they listen, and they're like, they can hear, and they're like, how's he making both those sounds with his mouth? And then they hear him making both of them at the same time. And the locals refer to this as Lukundoo, which Lukundoo in their language means witchcraft. Um, I'll get to a spoiler here in just a second, but for those of you who don't want a spoiler, who want to read this, a shocking thing, I would recommend it. Okay, it's a incredibly creepy little 15-page story by Edward Lucas White. Yeah, I highly recommend it. If you can scoop this up, that is a creepy little story, and it sounds like all of these hair-raising tales of the grotesque by 17 of today's fantasy and science fiction masters. Yeah, really, really creepy stuff in here, at least for this little story. So yes, for those of you who don't want any spoilers, this would be the time to pop off. I do recommend Lukundoo, okay? All right, and then now we're going to get into spoilers for those of you who don't want to seek it out, or I have no idea. Like I said, I've done no research. This could be stupid expensive or just unavailable online. And so basically what's happening is through these boils that he keeps lancing off, these shrunken heads are not shrunken heads, but they are heads, little creatures, minikin creatures, you know, emerging from his body and talking to him. It was so creepy. It was so gross and so grotesque. And eventually, Dr. Stone is like, just you keep killing these little creatures, but kill me. Basically, he's like, I want to die. Because he has a moment of lucidity where he's like, I'm basically just like uh, 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 a a medium to hatch these. I've been cursed, and we don't know why he was cursed. We don't know when he was cursed. He was cursed from some witch doctor apparently in one of these tribes, but it actually doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is in the dark continent, he has gone in the depths of the jungle, the deepest part of the Congo or wherever they're at. He gets cursed and has these shrunken head creatures emerging from his body, and he keeps killing them. That's what these shrunken heads that he has are. He keeps killing them as they're coming out. But now they can't seem to stop him as they really start emerging from his skin at multiple times. Oh, so creepy. It was such a creepy little weird story. And to kind of tie it in a bow, at the Twombly, this guy and Singleton who they're talking to, at the very end, and again in the beginning, he says, it stands to reason man must accept what he sees and hears, and then let me just give you the ending line here. We buried Stone, Singleton said, unmutilated as he died. But, said the inconsolable Twombly, the whole thing is incredible. Singleton stiffened. I did not expect you to believe it, he said. I began it by saying that although I heard and saw it, when I look back on it, I cannot credit it myself. Yeah. Fantastic little story. James Lucas White, great, or Edward, I can't remember his name. White was a great author. I'll be looking for more of his stuff. Yeah. It was a winner this time.